welcome all of you leaders to this working workshop on management and leadership in your respective capacities as teachers, as leaders, and as managers. I want to appreciate today being a moment that you have all congregated to sit as leaders, to see how best you have performed since this is the end of the year and how you think you can improve for the future. As managers, you will agree with me that what is important normally for managers is to plan. You have to plan for every activity that you are supposed to carry on in your sector. And as you plan, you must also ensure that you coordinate your activities. Coordinate your activities within the unit you are commanding, and also coordinate with others in the region. It is also important for you, upon coordinating, that you must cooperate. You don't work independently. You cooperate with everybody, with immediately those you are commanding, and you also cooperate with the rest of the sector leaders, and cooperate with the local government leaders where you are working. And not for every local government, for every unit, whether it's a district, whether it's a city, where you work, you have leaders there from LC 5 down to LC 1. This is the structure we have in our constitution and in the Local Government Act, Cap 243. So a good scout leader ensures that he understands the environment he's working in, and must also work both vertically and horizontally with all the leaders that are within your area of jurisdiction. And if you cooperate with everybody in your area of jurisdiction, then you must be able to assess the situation at every moment and be able to update your work and work with others. Working with others means have the attitude to delegate, have the attitude to build up other leaders. The beauty about scouting is that there's no hate. And you always a scout, you remain a scout. Unless out of your own way of living, you change your own way of living, then you fall out from the scout movement. Personally, I have been a scout from my whole time.
Ishika, Ishika, Ishika. Ishika.
And as a scout, it's always important, you all know, that scouts always look for information. And as you look for information, you will also evaluate what you find around. Why does a scout ask to do all that? Is to be sure that he is in charge of the environment and shapes the environment for his own future being. That you want to be in a better world. You always innovate, you always look for new ideas to make sure that you improve the situation. And a good leader in the scouting normally has issues that must be followed. Like I can state clearly, our patron, Mbale Paul, once wrote and said, teach the scouts not how to get a living, but how to live. So all of you must be preparing our scouts, not because they have to get a living, but how do they live? So it means you must ensure that these children are grounded. Our scouts are grounded in both understanding and practice. It is not good enough to have the scouts who like always to be dependent. They must be independent. And we must prepare these children to have confidence in themselves. A confident child, a confident youth, a confident scout prepares himself all the time and makes sure that even physically, a scout must remain stable and physically fit. A scout must be teachable, and a scout must be able to learn. So if you are teachable and you're able to learn, and then you're physically fit, it means you can make a whole being. This is what is missing most of our youth of today. And if you study carefully in institutions where scouting is taken very seriously, you will find an organized community. I have been in many schools where I worked under the office of the president for the last 17 years. And I found out that where there is no scouting, where the school leadership is not taking scouting together with its twin sister, but schools where they are not taking this physical education seriously, there is always a problem among us, the youth. First of all, the youth do not respect themselves, and they don't respect others. And when you have a situation, a community where the children don't respect themselves, and they don't respect their immediate supervisors, you can trace back and discover that that child has also a problem with the parenting. So scouting is there to make sure that you update this young population, prepare them to understand the social dynamics, and be able to cope up with the society that they live in. And today, I am very sure you all know that our children have lost schools. What are we planning as scout leaders, as scout managers, to take care of these children who have come out for holidays? These children are going to interface and interact with so many others of different background, different makings, and different interests. For example, in the case of Mbale City, our youth have crossed their come from schools, but in Mbale City, in all the streets are full of street children. And right from the time schools open, if you go down with a public street, or you go Navarro Road, rounds, banks, supermarkets, you find new faces. You get new street children who are even smarter and clean. But they have also come to be mixed up with those other ones who are dirty and chaotic, who are always sniffing aviation fuel and taking Jaga and also taking all sorts of drugs. For them, they think that is a new innovation in life, and they are happy about it. When they are grabbing people's phones and disturbing the innocent passing by pedestrians and people of the community, you as a manager, as a leader of the scouts, what do you think about it? What are you going to do? How are you going to contribute that your leadership is felt? Is the leadership of scouting that one that demands that they must be paid for the services they offer? Does the work of scouting need you to behave like a sub-county chief or a town clerk? It is a commitment. It is a calling. And that every time you pass where you pass, you must be concerned as a scout to identify what's wrong and quickly see how to address it. So I call upon all of you to take interest in the kind of youth we are leading today, and feel for the youth of this country at any time and everywhere. A youth leader and a scout leader does not identify this youth by color, by tribe, by language, by religion, by practice of any denomination. But you look at humanity and take the face of the person and say, you would like to have a bright future which is composed of all these diversities. I was happy to hear from my daughter at home. I'm calling her a daughter because I have a daughter called at home. And Opopo is my cousin. I have to sit with her and find out. Which Opopo are you? Which Ato are you talking about? Because all those names in our family. Are we related, or it is a coincidence? A convergence of coincidence. But that's what it means. I didn't know I would come and get somebody called Ato here. Neither am I getting somebody called. This is Uganda. We must be proud and be able to contribute at any time and everywhere. You remain a scout leader. And it is your right to make sure that you contribute without any further delay. So personally, I would like to welcome you to Mbale City. And then secondly, I want to encourage you to continue with this kind of dialogue. It should not be that you have it now only, and then next time you don't. This is our city. Mbale is our city, and therefore, whether you're from Serongo, Bruda, Manafa, wherever, have an opportunity to be here and build up this city. By the way you contribute and lead your youth, your scouts from everywhere, you are helping me as a chairman of the city. Fighting security. Mbale is having issues of thuggery, housebreaking. Is rampant. Grabbing of people's property is rampant. And now as we move, we are coming to the leap year. And if you are from this region, you understand what it means by a leap year. We have a few days to get to Mbale. I came here last year when Mbale again was starting. And it was not an easy moment. I don't know what happens these days. When I was growing up here in Mbale in 1980s, 1990s, Mbale was a moment of joy, a moment of showing glory, belonging. But now what I'm seeing is the destruction. It is a moment that you don't want to be counted. Because everything that's bad during the time of Mbale, if you want to see the worst behavior of a devil, you go there and you see. I'm sure you have seen me. Let it start in January. Let's all move and we see where the circumcision is taking place and we see what's happening. You not like it. How many of you have been there? Just by show of hand. You've been there. I've seen psychological as a student of psychology. I've been studying you and I think you are following what I'm saying. You will not like it. But we must belong to our culture. We cannot do without culture. And we cannot abuse it. What we only need is, let's see how to contribute and modify it, customize it to become a civilized way of being things. So that when you go there, you don't do everything that is worse. We must be able to make Mbale the meaning it is supposed to be. But you find that there are so many police cases, there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of indiscipline, the drivers cannot use the road, people refuse on the road. It is not good that way. Who should do it? You and me. At every time when there's opportunity, I'm happy that this time, unlike in 2022 when I came in as a leader, there was a big problem about Romuk. There was nobody The local government structures were there, but in order to penetrate culture and be able to work for a common good of the people, we needed the Omubuka's contribution. But people were scattered everywhere, quarreling and accusing themselves in court, LC1 court, magistrate court, people's court, everywhere, courts. And there was a lot of disaster. Now that we have the Omubuka, we feel the next Mbale will be an organized one. Because we have somebody now who can speak to and say, please, let us do our cultural things and leave the rest of the government programs to move. And let us cooperate. So I want to end here. And I want to thank you for coming here to work together for a common good. May God bless you. And may the scouting movement live now and forever. Thank you.